Okay. Well, first, I just want to start off by saying how excited I am to have you all in this group. And I appreciate you all trusting me with your health and fitness goals. Um, the purpose of this call is basically to get my try to write notes so I can stay on track, is to just kind of go over the program guide with you. So if you haven't had time to look through that, we're going to kind of go through that quickly. I'm going to touch on our food cycle and things, my expectations for the program from you all. So this is prep week, and I love prep week because it helps you just learn the strategies, and you're just not thrown into a new program not really knowing what to do. So you get all this week to kind of learn and practice and then implement starting next week. So you are free to practice the food cycle this week, the prep week workouts, intermittent fasting. You are by all means, you can do those things. You can practice and kind of see how it's going to be, and definitely try some of the workouts so that you know where you need to start, whether that be the beginner workouts, or if you're ready for the home or the gym versions. Okay. So what we're going to talk about is our expectations for prep week, and then we'll move into the program guide. Okay. So the main focus of prep week is to just learn everything. We have this motto in the Faster Way to Fat Loss. It is progress, not perfection. So we are going to be working and progressing towards our goals. We are not going to be perfect. We are probably going to have some bad days, or where things didn't necessarily go the way we had intended it to go with our food or what have you. But it's very important that you keep the mentality that you are working towards progress and that you aren't going to be perfect, and you need to give yourself some grace, okay? Mindset is really important in this program. You have to have proper mindset in order to reach goals. If you are constantly filling your mind with negative thoughts, then that's what your mind believes. So you have to really replace those negative things with positive things, okay? So the goal of the Faster Way to Fat Loss is to create a healthy, sustainable lifestyle. And the goal is to learn how to be able to burn fat effectively. So that is the main goal. And we do that through our food cycle and through intermittent fasting, okay? So we are going to go through a lot of information. It can be very overwhelming, and I don't want you all to throw your hands up in the air and say, this is too much, I quit. I just can't do this. This is too much. I will not allow you all to quit. You cannot quit because it's too much information or too overwhelming, okay? Just know that after you get through prep week and week one, you will feel so much more comfortable with our food cycle and the workouts and how everything works. So just continue to have the mentality of, I am in this for whatever reasons you joined, okay? Whether that be to lose some weight, to have more energy, to feel better, learn how to eat healthier, whatever it is, focus on that. Okay, so for a few things before we get started is make sure you introduce yourself in our Facebook group. Everyone should be added to the group. If you didn't get the email I sent to you last night, please comment in the comment section and let me know, so that you may need to check your junk mail. I know a couple of people, it went straight to their spam, but I did send out an email last night, I don't know, around 8 o'clock or so, with the link to our Facebook group, the link to the portal, a link for the new client assessment form, and then just the expectations for the program. So make sure you got that email. If you didn't, check your spam. If it's not there, then message me or comment below, and I'll resend that. So introduce yourself. Make sure you fill out the new client assessment form. Also, make sure you watch the YouTube video that I posted today showing how to set up MyFitnessPal. That is very helpful. That is actually a video from Amanda. Amanda is the creator of the Faster Way to Fat Loss. So you will see a couple of her videos, but you'll also see some of mine as well. our program hashtag, put that in our Facebook post today. So that is the hashtag that you all will use throughout the 6 weeks when you're posting on your social media posts. So we do different little things. I'll do some contests and such throughout this program for people who are consistently posting out on their social media pages using our program hashtag. So it's Faster Way with Terry. And that also hashtag helps other members in our group to find each other. And so if you're posting maybe a new recipe or what you're eating, you can search those hashtags and things will come up and it can give you ideas for different things to eat. And you can also support and encourage one another. So make sure you get those things done. I will give you each day this week in our Facebook posts daily things that you need to be doing, and make sure you get all those things done, okay? So the things that we focus on in the Faster Way to Fat Loss. First thing we focus on is eating the right macros at the right time for the right reasons. We lift heavy to develop lean, calorie-burning muscle, okay? So in the beginning, heavy may be that is 5 and 10 pound dumbbells, and that is perfectly fine. Whatever heavy is, heavy just means that you're challenging yourself, that by the end of that set, if you have 3 sets of squats to do and you're using your 5 or 10 pound dumbbells, then by the time you get to your 3rd set, you should be struggling with those last few reps that you're doing, okay? If you're not, then you need to be bumping up weights. And we will talk more about that as we go on, but the first couple of weeks, you'll notice a lot more of soreness because you're probably using muscles you haven't used in a long time. You're going to notice that maybe you can't do the full workout, and that is okay. But by the time you get to week 3, you're going to really see a big change in how much stronger you are. So just keep trucking along and keep being consistent with your workouts, okay? We also want to focus on fasted cardio and HIIT workouts. Our HIIT workouts we do on low carb days. Fasted cardio, basically that means that you do your cardio fasted. For some people, that is not going to be possible because you cannot get up and get your workout in before you break your fast. And that's okay. But if you can, then by all means, do it first thing in the morning when you wake up, get your workout in while you're fasted. And that just helps accelerate the fat burning process up on low carb days, because the purpose of a low carb day is to deplete our glycogen stores so that we are burning triglycerides, which is your fat. So we're burning fat for fuel. And so when you do your cardio fasted on those days, it just helps accelerate the progress. The most important thing is that we maintain proper mindset. It is very important that you keep the right mindset and that you aren't comparing yourself to other ladies in this group or outside of this group, okay? You are your main focus, and I want you to really concentrate on what you are trying to get out of this program. And then lastly, I want to make sure that you're all getting enough sleep/rest. If you are not getting enough rest or sleep, that really will affect your progress with burning fat and leaning out. Rest is very important. If you look at, we have a Faster Way to Fat Loss pyramid. Nutrition is the most important thing through this program. And a lot of people come to me worried that they can't do the workouts and that they're not going to be successful. The workouts aren't as important as nutrition. So nutrition is number 1, and then rest comes right after that. So you have to make sure you're getting enough rest each night. And I typically recommend that you get 7 to 8 hours of sleep each night if possible, okay? A few things. You cannot weigh yourself after this week. So you're going to weigh yourself this week so that you can set up your MyFitnessPal, and then you cannot step on that scale again, okay, until the end of the program. If you want to step on it at that time, you don't even have to then, okay? The number on the scale is just simply a number. I just done a live video about how our weight fluctuates daily. I think I done it on Thursday or Friday last week. And so that number on the scale can really get us hung up and make us feel defeated. So I don't like it. It's not a good judgment of your progress. So we focus a lot on non-scale victories, and we do that every Friday. We focus on what our biggest goal was for the week. That was a non-scale victory. victory that we reached. Instead of worrying about the number on the scale, make sure you're taking your measurements. Do not go through this program and not take your measurements, because you will maybe come out at the end of the 6 weeks and be really disappointed when you say, oh, well, I only lost 5 or 6 pounds, and you probably lost like 8 or 10 inches. So make sure you take those measurements this week. There is a place in your program guide where you can actually input your measurements, but you also will be putting those on the new client form that I sent to you all through email, and it's on our post today. Make sure you take your before pictures and get those emailed to me. If you're not comfortable with sending them to me, that's okay. I promise you nobody's going to see them but me, and I don't judge you all. We are all made perfectly in God's image, and maybe there's different things about you don't like, but don't worry about me nitpicking your pictures apart, because I'm not going to, okay? These are just a really good way to keep track of the progress you're making, because sometimes that scale will not tell you the progress you're making. It might only say 2 or 3 pounds lost, but then you've really lost a lot of inches. You've lost a lot of bloat in your stomach. And so make sure you do the before pictures. You want to make sure in the before pictures you take a front view, a side view, and make sure your arms are up kind of like this so that you can see the whole side. And then also a back view, and maybe you hold your arms up like this in the back view, okay? Make sure you wear the same thing in your after picture, and you kind of take it in the same place, okay? And we'll talk about after pictures towards the end of the program. So make sure you get those sent to me, do your measurements, and that is your homework for this week. Make sure you get the new client form filled out, introduce yourself on Facebook, do your measurements, and send your before picture, okay? And then there'll be videos that you need to be watching as well. So make sure you get your MyFitnessPal downloaded, watch that video, that YouTube on how to do that. Okay, so now we're going to get into our program guide. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to share the screen with you all. Okay. And I'm in our group, so what I'm going to do is actually go down here to our program. Now, I have seen on our coach page where some people are having problems with the portal link. Has anyone had problems with that? If so, comment in the feature, comment the chat feature. I personally didn't have any problems when I logged on yesterday, but it's a new portal. It just came out yesterday. So you'll just click on that link. You'll put in the password, which is eat, sleep, fast. Eat, sleep, and then capital for fast, all that. Okay, so then this comes up, and we want to look at the program guide. So here's all your resources that you have access to. Your weekly workouts are here, and you can access these on your devices, on your laptop, your iPad, your phone, whatever. You can print them out, take them with you to the gym, or if you're doing them at home, print them out and use them at home. We're going to look at the guide. Okay, so the comprehensive guide right here is where you're going to put your measurements. You can actually I think you can save this on your desktop, and then you can put your measurements here, or you can print this page out and put your measurements there. So we do carb cycling through this program, and carb cycling is just a variation in your carbohydrate intake. It keeps your body guessing, and so that's one of the reasons why it's so effective, is because we cycle through low and high carb days. And what carb cycling actually does is actually increases your thyroid output, and that will help control your hunger. And so since we are constantly switching it up, it does keep your body guessing. It will, carb cycling will help with increasing your energy levels, and it will help lean your body out, and you'll see a difference in your body composition. Intermittent fasting, and so we're going to talk a little bit about this, because some people think we don't do this every day. We do. So intermittent fasting is every day. We use the 16-8 protocol. So basically, intermittent fasting is an eating schedule. So you're either in a fasted state or a fed state. So either your body's being fed or is fasting where it's actually repairing and healing itself. And when you're in fasted state, it is really good to gives your digestive system time to rest, and that's how it actually will repair itself. So we do a fasting window for 16 hours and we feed for 8 hours. And so our goal in the 8 hours is to consume all of our macronutrients that MyFitnessPal has recommended that we consume. Okay. You want to make sure you're consuming all those calories, and macronutrients are made up of calories. So, and I will be posting a video tomorrow on my macronutrients and MyFitnessPal and everything to help you see how that works. So we will fast for 16 hours, and a lot of people want to know, what can I eat, drink, whatever in that 16-hour time frame, and how does that work? Well, first, how does it work? Fasting, basically at night when you eat your last meal, so say you quit eating at 7 p.m., you're going to start at that point and go out for 16 hours. So then you would be fasting until 11, is that right? Yeah, 11 a.m. the next day. Okay, so that would be your 16 hours. So basically, if you quit eating at 7, most of us are in bed by 10, and then you're sleeping until hopefully 5:30 or 6. And then so you only have from 6 or 7 in the morning until 11 where you're not eating anything. So you can drink all kinds of different things. You can have lots of water, and that's what I always encourage, is to make sure you're getting at least 100 ounces or more in water. Some people will do half of their body weight in water. Okay. So you want to make sure you're drinking lots of water. You can have black coffee if you need something in your coffee. We are going to be doing away with as much processed things as possible. So the artificial flavored coffee creamers and stuff, those are going to have to be put to the side. Let's take a break from those, and I will give you some other options that you can use in your coffee, such as Nut Pods is actually a dairy-free coffee creamer. It's in the same section as all the other stuff, but it's dairy-free. It doesn't have any artificial flavor, sweeteners, anything in it. I think they have 2 or 3 different flavors you can use. So that is fine for your coffee. You can use stevia, you can use almond milk, coconut milk, any of those things. You just can't consume more than 50 calories during your fasting window, and no fiber. You cannot have any fiber, no fiber, and no sugar. Okay, sugar will instantly wake up your digestive tract, your insulin. It's an insulin response, so it will wake it up, and your fast will be broken. So if you're using like almond milk, I usually do like unsweetened almond milk. I'm not a coffee drinker, but I do unsweetened almond milk with like protein shakes and things when I'm not fasting. But it's fine. If you're going to use regular almond milk, a splash of almond milk, it's not going to break your fast. But if you're using a whole 8 ounces, it will, just because it has some sugar and stuff in it. But if 1 or 2 tablespoons won't break your fast. You can do BCAAs. We'll talk more about that later this week, beginning of next week. But BCAAs are just amino acids that actually help replenish your electrolytes and help rebuild up your muscles after a really strong, really hard lifting session. They're great for low carb days as well. Those will not break your fast. I will give recommendations of some BCAAs that I like. And you all, if you have questions about if something is fine, you just comment in the group. I'll answer, and that way everyone can see that question and response. Okay. So BCAAs are fine. Herbal tea and unsweet tea is fine. And that is about all you can have during fasting. Okay. So the main thing is that you keep it under 50 calories and it has no fiber. Okay. So fiber wakes up your digestive tract, breaks your fast. Okay. So as I'm going through this, if you all have questions, make sure you're posting those in the comments, and I will answer all those questions at the very end. But we do fast every single day starting Monday. And a few tips I have for you all is, if you're really nervous about the fasting part, then I would go on and start practicing intermittent fasting this week. And I would start with the 12-12. So basically you feed for 12 hours, you fast for 12 hours. Maybe you do that for a couple of days. then you do 14-10. Fast for 14 hours, feed for 10 hours. Do that for a couple of days. And then you go to the 16-8, okay? So you kind of just ease your way into it instead of just waiting until Monday and it being really, really tough and maybe you struggle with it. And even if you come to Monday and you haven't been practicing, maybe next week you take the first few days and just kind of ease your way into it. But I have a lot of clients who prefer to start during prep week with practicing intermittent fasting. So that is always very helpful for them. Okay, so our food cycle. Now this is the fun part. And I will post a picture of our food cycle so that you all can save it on your phone. But basically our food cycle works like this. Day 1 and day 2, which is Monday and Tuesday, are low carb days. Low carb days, the purpose is to deplete our glycogen stores so that we are burning fat for fuel. And we pair our low carb days with high intensity workouts. So either it's a HIIT workout, Tabata workout, or sprints. Sprints is basically where you sprint on like an elliptical, a spin bike, or you run for 20 seconds and then you recover for 40 seconds. And you repeat that cycle for like 10 minutes, and then we gradually increase that as we progress through the 6 weeks, okay? And if you're not able to run and don't have access to an elliptical or spin bike, you have knee issues, then you can always do fast walking for 30 seconds or so and recover. And so we can work through those things. You all just need to reach out to me if you're having issues with knees or any other body parts and you need some modifications, and I'm happy to help you all with that. So during low carb days, we focus on consuming 50 net carbs or less, okay? And the net carbs is going to be your total carbs minus your total fiber, and that will give you your net carbs, okay? So your macronutrient pie chart will not matter what it looks like on low carb days as far as your 50, 20, 30. And so we focus on consuming really good quality protein. We want to keep our protein at about the same percentage as it is on any other regular macro day. So if your goal for protein is 100 grams, then you want to try to get to that 100 gram goal, either give or take. You can go over a little or under a little, but we want to really try to keep our protein moderately about the same as it is on a regular macro day. We make up for the low carbs through fats. And so our fats are going to be high on low carb days. And basically, my goal is around 58 grams, I think, per day. And on a low carb day, my fats are always up over 100 grams. Okay. So don't be afraid of fats. As long as you're eating the right fats and the good quality fats, then don't worry about it. So good sources of fats would be your coconut oil, your avocados, your nuts. These little macadamia nuts is what I was snacking on before I hopped on this call. These are such a great source of fats. A fourth a cup has 23 grams of fats, okay? And only 2 net carbs. They are delicious. I got these at Trader Joe's. It is about $8 for this bag, but I only eat them on low carb days, okay? So this bag lasted me for almost 4 weeks. This is my 4th week with it. So those are great. I love them. So you want to make sure you're focusing on some nuts, nut butters, your good sources of protein, such as, salmon and fish. And I typically will do steak on low carb days because it's a fattier meat. Roast is a good source. Hamburger, your 80-20 hamburger meat, or 85-15, by percentage, 80%, 20%. That's a good source. And so eggs are a great source of fats. If you're only trying to get protein, then you want to stick with the whites. But if you want the fat, you need the whole egg, and it is a really good source of fats too. And I will be posting as well throughout this week good things for low carb days. I'll be doing a recipe thread so you all can have some recipe ideas. And I will definitely be coaching you all through this whole week. Okay. So that's the purpose of low carb day. Your fat should be anywhere from 45 to 65% of your pie chart in MyFitnessPal and your macros. Your protein should be around 20 to 25%, and then the rest should be your carbohydrates, okay? You definitely want to stay away from your starchy vegetables such as potatoes and corn, no beans. You don't want to consume any type of, obviously, pasta, breads, those kinds of things. We try to stay away from those things as much as possible, period. But definitely low carb days, we are not going to be focusing on those types of foods. You will log everything, and you will keep track of that. And you can look at the nutrients tab on MyFitnessPal to see where you are with your net carbs, okay? So that is low carb day. If you all have questions about low carb day, make sure you post those, and I will answer them. And then also on low carb day, that is our cardio. So if you can do it fasted, great. If not, it's okay. If you have to work out in the evenings, it's not going to be a deal breaker. You're still going to have great results through this program. Our next 2 days are Wednesday and Thursday, and that's our regular macro days. Regular macro day, our goal is to make sure our pie chart is 50% carbohydrates, 30% fats, and 20% protein. You want to make sure you're hitting your macrogram goal. So again, that's going to be under the nutrients tab in MyFitnessPal, and you will see what your goals are for those 3 macronutrients. You want to make sure you're trying to hit those as close as possible. The number one tip I have for you all through all this is pre-planning and pre-logging your food. So if you can log your food either the night before or that first thing in the morning and see where you are and what kind of adjustments you need to make, then you're going to do so much better, and you're not going to struggle at the end of the day trying to, meet your macro goals. So on a regular macro day, this is where we refuel our body with our carbs. And the carbs we want to focus on are carbs from fruits, your veggies such as sweet potatoes, corn, broccoli and all that good stuff. But sweet potatoes, baked potatoes, quinoa, gluten-free oats are good. And also rice is another good source of carbs. So we want to refuel on those healthy carbs. We want to make sure we're focusing on whole food nutrition. So we're not refueling our carbs with, prepackaged things such as gluten-free crackers or gluten-free bread and things like that. And it's okay to have those things, but we really just try to limit that and try to only have those things on like a leg day, or sometimes I will have it on day 3, Wednesdays, which is a total body workout. But again, I don't do it very often. I try to stick with the fruit and the veggies as my source of carbs, and quinoa. Love quinoa. Carrots are another good source. Beans are great for carbs and protein. So you can have beans on regular or low macro days. We just don't want beans on low carb days. And so on regular macro days, we're focusing on strength training, and that is on Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Saturday is our training day. That is our big leg day. So that is going to be our treat day. And so treats are if it fits your macros kind of thing. So we still log our treats. We want to make sure that we're putting those in MyFitnessPal. You want to, if you can consume your treat right after your leg workout, that's the ideal time. But sometimes for me, my treat isn't consumed till that evening because we are either going out to eat or something like that. So make sure you're still logging that. I'm going to have to upgrade this. Okay. Because our call is going to end in 10 minutes and I'm running behind. So, okay, I'll do it in a second. Okay. So, that is going to be your treat day. It's Saturday. And I lost my train of thought. If it fits your macros, make sure you're logging it. It's one treat. It's not a cheat day. It's a treat day. So make sure you get your treats and log it and be done with it. So it's not an all-out cheat day, okay? Then we have low macro days. Low macro days, that is our active recovery day. We focus on consuming 25% less macros. So we're going to consume 25% less carbs, fats, and proteins. And you can easily calculate that by taking the recommended gram goal. So if it's 100 grams of protein, it's 100 times 0.25. That's 25. You subtract your 25 from 100. You get 75 grams of protein on a low macro day. So hopefully that makes sense. So active recovery day, you can choose to completely take the day off and rest. You can go for a long walk, but you can go do yoga, the sauna, just a longer form of cardio where it's a low intensity workout. You can carry on a conversation if you're choosing to do cardio. Okay, so we take our rest day serious. Your body needs those days to repair itself. Okay, so there's the food cycle. I will print, or I will post a picture of that in our group. And then throughout this guide, it gives you guidelines for leg day and low carb days and low macro days. Sometimes people on low macro days will try to extend their fasting window a little bit longer since they know they're going to be consuming 25% less macros. And so feel free to do that. If you want to shorten your eating window to a 6 or 7 hour window, you're perfectly fine to do that. Okay. These are some more videos. These are the ones I will be posting. I reposted the one about MyFitnessPal. The approved foods list is a generic kind of approved foods list. It's not this is all you can eat. Basically, if it has a mother or it comes from the ground, it's free game. We try to eliminate as much processed foods as possible. It doesn't mean that you're not going to have any, but we just try to limit them as much as possible. And if you're going to consume packaged foods, the least amount of ingredients, the better. And pay attention to your nutritional label and look at your macros as you're, doing your grocery shopping. And then here it gives you samples of food log and things you can eat on low carb day, regular macro day, and a low macro day. Okay. All you're going to do is you click on it. It'll give you an example of what you can eat. All right. And there's some more ideas. Now, if you're training for a marathon, make sure you let me know in your new client assessment form. If you're nursing or breastfeeding, make sure you let me know that as well, because there will be a few different adjustments that we'll need to make for you. And then lastly, I've already talked on this, but again, I just want to reiterate the whole progress, not perfection. It takes time for your body to make changes. And so, we didn't put on the extra 10 pounds or 20 pounds or 50 pounds or whatever it is overnight. So it's not going to come off overnight. So make sure that you keep that mindset that, it took you a while to get to this place. It's going to take you some time to get where where your goal is. And so maybe you set little bitty goals every single week. And personally, I love setting goals, and writing them down is so important. And we share our goals in the group. But just remember that it takes time for your body to make the changes that you are trying to do. Okay. It takes about 6 to 8 weeks to really see a difference in your body composition. So by the end of the 6 weeks, you definitely should be seeing some changes and people will start noticing as well. And there's a few things why you might not see changes, and that would be sleep. I've already touched on that. Your stress levels. If you're chronically stressed, it's hard for your body to burn fat and lean out. So if you struggle with being chronically stressed, then let me know, and we can talk through some things and how to manage your stress levels. If you don't have a healthy gut, you're not going to lean out. I just done a video on this because I personally went through this. I would suggest a good probiotic if you don't have a healthy gut flora, okay? And then also you may have some other things going on, such as adrenal fatigue type issues or cortisol level things going on where your cortisol levels are low when they should be high or high when they should be low, and then hypothyroidism as well. So a few expectations. I need you all to keep me updated daily. Okay, so I post every single day in our group. That post starting next week will be where you keep me updated daily. Stay off the scale. Make sure that you are weigh yourself this week, and then be done with it until the end of the program. And then make sure you stay positive. Again, positive mindset is so important. Okay. So that is just briefly going through that guide. And you all make sure if you haven't done it, go through it. You can look at the meal ideas. Again, I will be sharing ideas with you throughout this week. I'll be sharing recipes with you all. And then I encourage you all to do the same with the group. So you can share different recipes, whatever you're eating. And we work through meal planning, and I share my meal plans for the week. So we do a lot of sharing. So I think that is all. The food cycle was the most important thing, to get through that and make sure you all understand that. The workouts, we will start with Monday. You feel free to do the prep week workouts. If you haven't worked out in a long time, I always suggest starting with the beginner workouts and doing half of what the workout calls for, okay, and then easing your way into it. What else? I think that is all for. So who has questions as I'm looking through the rest of my notes? Let me see if I got questions. Pull up the chat. Anybody got questions? I know it's a lot of information and it's very overwhelming. So make sure that you just keep that in mind, that everyone comes through this prep week, and even coming into week one, still feeling a little overwhelmed. But I promise you all, you will get it. I will make sure you get it. And I will coach you every step of the way. Does anybody have questions? I'm going to unmute y'all. I'm sorry. I thought I did that. Unmute.
4, 5, 6.
Does anybody? I've got everyone unmuted. If you have questions, you can talk. Except Leah, I can't. Oh, there you go. I got you. If you have questions, go and ask them. We got a couple more minutes. Okay, if you don't, but if you think of questions, what I want you to do is post them in our group so that I can answer them and everyone can see the response, because a lot of times the same people have the same types of questions, and so it helps you all out. So through the rest of prep week, just make sure you're focusing on trying to eliminate as much food as possible. I would suggest trying to work on increasing your water intake. Make sure you're doing everything I ask you to do in the daily posts. Make sure you're watching the YouTube videos, fill out the form, introduce yourself to the group, get comfortable with the group, because you are going to be with each other for 6 weeks. And hopefully you all will become friends, throughout this process. And then you can practice with intermittent fasting and ease your way into it and do the suggestions that I made. You can also try some of the workouts, see how you do, so that way when next week comes, you know where you need to start. But those are the suggestions I have. And again, if you all have questions, post them in our group. I will post the replay for this video in shortly, probably in the next 20 to 30 minutes. And then that's it. So no questions? All right, well, I'm going to go on and end this. I'm super excited to get started next week. You all have a great day, and I will talk to you later. Bye.